I've always wanted to recreate that classic old film look in my videos, the grain, the texture, the subtle imperfections that make everything feel more alive. But let's be honest, getting that authentic film vibe usually means diving deep into complex color grading, LUT stacks, or spending hours tweaking in post. Well, not anymore. I present to you Dehancer. Whether you're into film emulation, analog vibes, or just want to give your footage that rich cinematic look, stick around because this plugin has a lot going on. Alright, let's do this! What's up everybody, welcome to my channel. This is the first time I'm doing this type of content, also in English, but who knows, maybe it's just the first from many. Let's go! A few weeks ago, I've got an email from the people behind the Dehancer plugin who asked me to do a review for them. Funny fact, I actually watched a lot of videos with Dehancer before that, and I became really interested in it. So I didn't think twice and accepted. They also gave me a lifetime access to Dehancer, so how could I possibly turn down one of the best plugins for recreating top quality retro textures on my videos? Of course I said yes. Also, the footage that you've seen earlier is from a music video that I've shot a few weeks ago for a teenage band from Romania called Graffiti. They go by Graffiti Young Band on social media, so big shout out to them, they're very talented in what they do. Also, check their music video, it's called Mă fură dragostea, in English goes by The Love is Stealing Me or Steal My Love or something like that. So yeah, go check it out. Alright, let's get back to our stuff. So, if you haven't heard about Dehancer yet, it's basically a film emulation toolkit that lets you replicate the look and the feel of classic film stocks like Kodak, Fuji, and much more vintage stuff. It's designed to simulate the entire retro look process from film stock to printing, with halation, bloom, grain, and much more, all of them being integrated in a very simple interface. Dehancer offers a few pricing options depending on your needs, so you can choose between a monthly, a quarterly, or a yearly subscription, and if you prefer a one-time purchase, there's also a lifetime license available. They've also broken it down into different versions, so you have separate licenses for DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro and After Effects, and also for Final Cut Pro. On top of that, they offer the Dehancer plugin for photos, a mobile version, and even an online tool for quick film style conversions right in your browser. So whether you're a filmmaker, a photographer, or just editing on the go, there's always something in the Dehancer ecosystem just for you. And if you're thinking about buying it, you can use my affiliate code MAYO.CONCEPT at checkout for 10% off. It should appear somewhere around here. Alright, now that we pointed all of that, I've got a few more clips lined up, and after that I'll show you a little bit of the interface. Let's dive in. So yeah, I kinda have a theme going on here. All the shots have that summer sunny vibe, you know? Yeah, I just feel like the summer is the perfect season for all those warm, nostalgic feelings. It's all about the sunlight, the colors, the memories. It just works. Coming back to our stuff, the first thing that I noticed when applying the plugin is that it's super intuitive. So here I have a beautiful shot with me walking between these palm trees in Tenerife. And after you install the plugin, you will find it under the video effects tab in this folder called film emulation, and you just drag and drop it to your shot, and boom. As you can see, we already have some minor tweaks to our footage, but for now we're gonna reset those just for you to see the changes from the start. So expand, print, and I think film grading. Okay. Cool. Now that everything is back to zero, first we have the input tab. This is the place where, for example, if you shot on log, you can select your camera format from here and give it that standard look. So as you can see, we have a bunch of cameras here like Canon, Blackmagic Design, DJI, and much more. But if your shot is basic from the start with no flat or no log profiles, you can just leave it to Rec 709. In my case, I've shot this with the Insta360 Go 3 in standard mode, so I'll just leave it to Rec 709. You've got your film selection right about next, and here we can work with a lot of different looks, and as soon as you apply one, the transformation is instant. My favorites are the Kodak Visions, and let me just find one for my footage. Okay, I think this looks alright. I usually go to the print tab next, where you have other profiles that come on top of the film profiles, and basically with these two I already have a pretty good idea of how the retro look will change my footage. So I'm gonna open this, enable it, and my favorite from here is the Kodak 2303 print film, and boom, you already see the changes that it made to my footage, and I really like the blue of the sky in this one. As a side note, in older movies, the print stock represents a copy of the original camera negative on a specific film material that had different textures. Okay, after we're done with the print tab, we'll go back to expand, film compression and film developer, where we can do some minor changes to the footage. For example, in the expand, we can work with the bottom black point and the top white point. You can see the changes in the histogram. Okay. In film developer, we work with the contrast, gamma, and some tweaks to the colors. So I'm gonna push the contrast a little bit, leave the gamma like that, and maybe a small color boost. Yeah. And in film compression, we just compress the shadows and the highlights of our footage. Okay. You can see in the clouds the details. And this is how our footage looks now. That's cool. Okay, next we have the color head tab, where we can add some cool tints to the footage and also play a little bit with the tones of the shadows, midtones and highlights. Let's see how this goes. Maybe I'll just make it a little bit warmer. Yep, that's cool. I'll leave the tones like this. So definitely one of my favorite features here is the film grain, because it's not just a slapped on overlay, it behaves like a real film grain, and it's actually pretty beautiful. We have different values here, which in older movies represented the physical width of the film strip itself. So with the 65mm, we have a wider strip of film where we can see small changes of the footage, and with 8mm we have a thinner strip of film where we can see big changes of the footage. As you can see right here, this is the 8mm, this is the 65. Also, the higher the ISO, the more that it will affect the shot. For now, I'm gonna choose the 60mm with 250 ISO. Yep, this looks great already. So yeah, next we have halation, which is that subtle red glow around the highlights that really makes your footage feel like it was shot on a real roll of film. So let me just zoom in so that you can see the changes. And also, if you press the mask mode, you can see the changes better that it brings to your footage. So yeah, this is too much. Okay, next we have bloom, which is that soft, dreamy glow around your highlights. It's really cool for music videos or nostalgic scenes. So this is with the bloom, this is without the bloom. As you can see, the glow. Cool. Okay, next we have film damage, that it's what it says it is. It gives you that grungy look to your footage with these sketches, if you can see them. That looks cool. Okay, next we have the film breath, which is like a subtle flicker to your colors. Not very noticeable, but it's there. So have these small changes to the colors. In older movies, this effect happened naturally in a real analog film over time, especially during a projection or a film scan. If you activate the gate wave to your footage, you will notice that it will give you that retro shaky motion. Let me just show you. So this is with the gate wave activated and this is without. Let me select 8mm so that you can see it better. So you can see the jitter of the shot now. But I'm gonna go with 16mm. Okay, that looks cool. So in older films this happened because the film didn't always sit perfectly still in the film gate, which is that mechanism that holds the film steady during exposure or projections. So that's why it had this jitter to it. Now it's just a cool effect for a retro feeling, so we like it. Another thing that I love is the overscan, because you don't want to know how much I've been looking for those perfect overlays all over your YouTube or in different packs, but none of them were perfect. I mean, you always had to scale them or blend them, and now all of that is much easier with Dehancer. So let me show you. This is one of them. This is actually the Super 35, the Super 8, Standard 16. These are beautiful. This looks great. Nice. So we're gonna go with the Super 8. I really like this one. That looks beautiful. I like it. Cool. Next we have vignette that basically darkens the edges and the corners of our footage, bringing attention to the middle. So if you want to see better, I'm gonna lower down the feather. You see this circle. So we have the darkened edges. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave that. So with the monitor you can check if your footage is properly exposed either by clipping an indication of the crushed highlights and shadows. As you can see we have a little bit of the crushed highlights here. And also by false color, if you know how to read false color. Okay, in the output tab you can change the total impact of the tweaks that you made with Dehancer to your footage. So if you don't want that much effect on your footage, you can set it lower from here. Okay. Next we have LUT generator. Here you can export your current look as a LUT, and in this way you can use it with other softwares or in different workflows. And the last one, we have the device tab, which just confirms which GPU is used for the software, in my case NVIDIA. And that's about it. So like I said, all that time trying to dial in the perfect retro look, layering LUTs, adjusting curves, tweaking endlessly, is now seriously cut down thanks to Dehancer. It makes the whole process so much easier and way more authentic. Now a couple things to note, this plugin is really powerful, so it can be a bit heavy on your system. I definitely noticed slower playback, especially with bloom and grain cranked up, so maybe use adjustment layers or render previews if you're working from a laptop. Also, it would be great if they can make like an easier system preview on the looks, either to change when you hover with the mouse over them, or to scroll them by the arrows from the keyboard and make changes to the shot instantly. Oh, and quick side note, if you're into mobile editing, Dehancer also has an iOS app that brings the same film emulation magic to your phone. Super handy for on-the-go grading or Instagram content that actually looks cinematic. Also worth mentioning, they've got Dehancer Online, which lets you test out the film look straight from your browser. No install, just upload your footage and experiment. Pretty cool for quick previews or if you're not at your editing rig. So, is Dehancer worth it? If you're serious about achieving a film look without spending hours stacking LUTs and grain layers, then absolutely yes. It's one of the closest things to real film I've seen in plugin form. Plus, it adds a creative layer to your color grading process. It's not just technical, it's expressive. And that's about it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it or if you're considering it. Also, since it's my first review video showing my face and all of that, I'd appreciate any suggestions with what was good or what should I change in the future. And yeah, that will help me a lot. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you found this useful. Have a great day.